Alright guys, welcome back to Captain Cuz 6951. I'm going to call this part 2B. And the reason why is because what we're going to do is we're going to build the engine and complete the chassis in this video. And what you see in front of you right now are all the parts that I had told you guys I was getting. I don't know, it seems like this guy was parting out a kit or something like that. But he did a checklist, because it looks like he tore out part of the instructions. He did a checklist, and everything you see in pink is what he included in the kit. And yeah, so it's all here. Here's engine halves, cylinder head. You know, I'm really amazed. I'm looking at the cylinder heads, and I'm looking at the rocker arms, and they are placed exactly the way they would be on the real engine. I'm just so impressed with this stuff. Lower radiator hose, upper radiator hose. Here's the high-rise manifold or tunnel ram manifold, belt assembly, front timing cover, chrome parts, aluminum alternator, carburetors, velocity stacks, and so on and so forth. Now I know for sure that I will not be using this exhaust system. This is going to be strictly a drag car. And I am going try my hardest to get these slicks under the body. I think all I have to do is to cut. You can see that. You can cut that little deal off there. It'll push it in further. I think that's all I have to do to get this to work. I will try that. Headers have to be assembled. Block has to be assembled. Total engine has to be assembled. And I notice whatever kit this came out of, it had a hole at the bottom of the oil pan, so it must have had an alignment pin on the chassis that it came out of. Anyhow, the block will get Chevy orange, the oil pan will get aluminum, belts black, pulleys whatever color I decide to do the pulleys. Headers I'm not quite sure yet. That's up in the air, but the engine block, complete engine, is going to get Chevy orange. Anyhow, let me get to the next part of this. So I'll be right back. Alright guys, you all heard me talking about how I want to detail this car out because it'll be my first car that I've actually done some customized work. And it's not that extensive, it's just adding a few things to make it look a little bit better. So one of the things I wanted to do is I wanted to wire up the distributor and spark plugs. So I looked on eBay and I found a couple of kits that were exactly that. And they are for 1/25th scale. So I said, okay, I went to order them. They were cheap enough. They were like $3.50 each or something like that. So I ordered a couple of different color cables. One had red cables, one had orange cables. And then I ordered another kit that was actually putting an entire distributor together. So I'm going to show you what I got. And you guys are going to laugh when you see this. Now they come assembled like this. But look at the tip on this thing. Look at this. Alright, so that's one. Now, I don't know what company this is. It just says spark plug wires. So then I keep looking, because I had already bought those ones. And I come across this one. Dark Blue Distributor Kit. Okay? Detail Masters is the name of the company. So I open it up. And this was a cool kit, I thought, because you actually get to put the distributor together. And it's got the hold down, it's got the clamps on the side, it's got the top. You could do a 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder, or 8-cylinder distributor with this one kit. So I open it up, and here's the stuff. And I think I'm going to try and get this out of here so you guys can see it a little bit better. Okay. And what do I have to hold this? Okay, it's very nice. It's an aluminum casting. But it is huge. It's way out of scale. What's nice about it is, let's see, they give you this little deal right here, photo etch deal, and it's got the clamps on it, it's got the wire looms on it, it's got the distributor caps that you can do the 4, 6, or 8 cylinder, and it's a very detailed kit. Let's see, where's the hold down? Here's the hole down right here. They even give you the bolt top, the bolt head to put on top of that. I mean, it's a really nice kit, but it's way too big. So, I had to, what I tell my guys on my Railroad channel, adapt and overcome. So, my first attempt was a failure. These were the blue wires out of the kit I just showed you. Okay? So, I said, okay, let me try something else. So, what I did was, from the kit that had two, one orange and one red, I took the orange ones and I made this. Now, the bottom part of this, from here down, is the factory distributor. I filed down the top, put these wires together with some CA glue and then some shrink tubing. And I put the shrink tubing on, first one tight against the wire, second one over that, and the third one on top of that to make the diameter of the distributor. Then I had to mess with it to get it to go down. I used black CA cement so it matches the distributor. And this is what I got. And it will fit in here like that. Let me see if I can hold this a different way. Into the tunnel ram manifold. And so, I mean, it may not look pretty, but at least it'll be there. Anyhow, we're going to continue this video by building the engine and painting it, putting the headers on it, and let's see if it fits in the car. Because we have not tried that yet. Anyhow, we will be back in a few minutes. Alright guys, I'm going to add a little bit of, I don't know if you're even going to be able to see it, but the headers were two halves as you saw previously when I was showing off the parts, and I put them together, but it's not open. So how does the exhaust get out? I don't know. So we have to give it a hole. I'm going to make that hole a bit bigger, but basically it's at the end of the collector. And I think that's a nice little addition. I'll paint it black in there as if it was been used with exhaust and stuff like that. Anyhow, just a little tip. And again, I don't know if I'm going to use this exhaust system. It depends on where these fall in the chassis. I might be able to get it in there because the hole that I just drilled fits these pipes perfectly. So we'll have to see how that's going to work out. Alright, anyhow, I don't know what color I'm going to paint these headers. Mine were painted white when I had them in my Chevelle. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut that tip off with my little Tamiya mini saw. It works okay. Not really happy with it, but it works. So, alright, so I'm just going to pick a little spot right here. and just cut. Come on. Alright, now, there should be a hole there. So let's see. I guess I had to go a little further back. I can see where the hole is, but I need to go a little further back. Alright. Alright, so it's there. Now I just got to take my drill and just drill into it. There you go. I will make it a little bit bigger, but I'll do that off camera. Just wanted to show you my process of doing that. Alright, we'll be back. Alright guys, I am making some different realizations right now. When I put the spark plug wires onto the spark plugs, or the heads actually, I want to put some holes in there so I can put the wire into the head and secure it that way. But that needs to get done before I put the headers on, because once I put the headers on, there's no way that I'm going to get in there. So how I'm going to do this is, first of all, I told you guys that I was going to use these orange ones, but instead I decided to use the blue ones, because the blue, you'll see, a lot better against the orange engine. And I'm going to run these under the head, at the bottom of the head, up to the distributor behind the headers. So all you'll basically see is the top of the wires going down to there. I'm also going to hook up a red wire to the starter for the positive cable from the battery. So how am I going to drill those holes? I'm going to drill those holes with my Dremel tool. So I marked off a couple of spots. I looked at a couple of pictures online and saw where they gotta kind of go, and that's what I'm going to do. Oops. Anyhow, there's my holes. Now before I can do anything else, I need to mount the manifold so I can mount the distributor, and then I can start running my wires. Because then I have to get, you know, different lengths and stuff like that. So, with that being said, let's turn this up and turn him back up like that. And let's open this guy up and close him up right there. Now, we got to do some cleanup before we can actually mount this, and there is a positive mounting spot for this. I think I got it backwards. Yeah. As you can see, there's a hole right there. I'm going to clean these off before I put this in here. But basically, I'm just putting it in here now just to see. Wow, don't go all the way down. Alright. I don't see no flash on there. Or maybe that right there. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and clean this up, mount this up here, and then kind of get the distributor in place so I can run my wires. Okay, we'll be right back. Well, boys and girls, I hate to say this, but I think this boy from New York, Italian boy from New York, did a freaking nice job on these wires. Check it out, man. Holy mackerel. Look at that. And you know what? That's not even a distributor in there. That's just shrink tubing with the wires crumbled up inside of there and shrunk down and blah blah. And then I got my red wire for my starter. That's going to go up to the battery. I'm going to run him towards the back of the motor and up the firewall and this, that, and the other thing. Anyhow, I'm going to finish putting this motor together and let's see what we're going to come up with. So stay tuned and we will be right back. Alright guys, welcome back. So I'm going to give you an update as to another mock-up, just to make sure everything fits, because now I have some more of the engine complete. So this is what it's going to look like. If you can see that, and I'll turn it around a little bit this way, give you a little peek that way. See the positive and negative cables just hanging out there. Now the motor is not 100% glued in there. It's just held in with that tacky stuff that you guys use. And the transmission mount is permanently mounted. And as you can see, the drive line is there. Again, we just need to mount the transmission because it's not mounted, it's just flopping around in there. But you can see, everything is working out pretty good so far. Now, next problem I got is that I cannot use the hood. Let me get these wires in here out of the way. I cannot use this hood because it's cut out for a supercharger. And this is only going to have 2 4-barrels. So if I put it on there, and of course the engine is not lined up 100% yet, but I'd have this big empty space right here. So, how am I going to fix that? I'm going to take the other hood that they give me, and I'm going to cut that square or that rectangle out to fit this hood with this engine. So, with that being said, put this out of the way. I think I'm getting the paint for this car on Friday. And by the way, it does fit even with the fan shroud in there. There's no problems whatsoever. I just got to figure out how to glue it down. So, we're going to go ahead and cut this guy out. Move some of this stuff out of my way. So I have mat to work with. Here we go. So, I have a brand new blade in my knife. And so I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Try and make sure it's as square as you can get it. And then we'll just cut. Now you guys may have a different way of doing this. Like I said, I am new to this hobby, but I do have a model railroad channel that I do a lot of scratch building on, and this is what I use to cut stuff. So now that we go through, we're almost through. So I'm going to go ahead and continue on this, and I'll bring it back when that is completed. Okay guys, we are back. So, let me show you what I have accomplished on the hood that I was going to modify, and then explain to you some other issues that I ran into. Alright, so this was the factory hood that came. It was cut out for the supercharger and all that stuff. Great, no problem. But this car has 2 4-barrels on a tunnel rat manifold. So, I had to cut the old hood, the second hood that they give you in the kit. And this is what I came up with. Look at that. Nice fit. And the velocity stacks are not on there yet. Look at that. And I have to trim it off a little bit towards the back. But I think that's going to work out pretty good. Anyhow, here's the issue I have. Because this car was originally designed for a small block and had headers that went from the engine that came out the sides and it went down to these side pipes, which was really nice, but I wanted to do something different on this car, so I wanted to put a 396 in there, or a big block. So I bought this engine off of eBay. I did all the wiring, as you could see in previous clips in this video. So now I go to install the headers on the engine and then put the engine in the car. Well, let me show you what's up here. Let me take this off for a minute. Okay. So I go to put it in. Of course, the engine is still not 100% in there. But the distance between the engine and the chassis was just too tight, and it just won't go in. It just hit. You see where it hits? Between the, if you guys can see that. I'm trying to hold the engine in place while I'm doing this, but it's just too tight right there. And what it needs to do, let's see if I can get it out again, is when it's on the cylinder head, these pipes should be bent more closer to the engine block, and then it will probably fit. How am I going to fix this problem? Well, there's several ways I can fix this problem. The first way is to put the original engine in here and just go like that, or see if I can find other headers, which I did. So I ordered 2 sets of headers for a Camaro with a big block. We'll see how that works out. My ultimate choice and my ultimate purchase was a 69 Z28 big block Pro Street. And I bought that kit. And I couldn't believe the price on that. Now I'm doing this just to get a set of headers for this car. I don't want to undo what I already did, because I think the distributor looks good. I like these wires sticking up over here, and who knows, I might do some more after a while. So, with that being said, I think I'm going to end this video right now and see what happens when I get these other parts, if it'll work, and we'll make a decision on what I'm going to do at that point. So, with that being said, I hope you guys and gals enjoyed this video, and as always, your questions, comments, input, subs, shares, and likes are always welcome.